picturesque Mallory Park. Wonderful scenery, something of a leisure centre Mallory Park's becoming over the years, with a beautiful lake situated in the middle of the circuit. The riders need to keep out of that water. I can tell you there's some very big pike in there, the fishermen enjoying it, boating as well on the lake, and the spectators have flocked in here in their thousands. And Mallory Park provides a natural arena for viewing, wonderful natural grandstand all the way along the 140-mile-an-hour main straight, and the spectators here basking in the sunshine. All the races on today's program will be 20 laps, the full distance 27.4 miles. The 250s are first to go. The championship standings at the moment after round 5. Steve Hislop leads the table on 41 from his teammate Alan Carter on 33. Wolsey Coulter from Ulster. Martyn Jupp is in with a chance as well. Steve Johnson and Steve Sawford from Cambridgeshire, the 6th in the table on 19 points. 10 points for a win, and 10th place will earn 1. The fastest 5 round here today. Pole position, Kevin Mitchell, number 3, the Grand Prix runner, out for one of his rare British outings, but determined to get Supercup glory. Mitchell on the Med Builders Yamaha. Ian McConaughey alongside him. Then it's Alan Carter riding number 12 in the middle. Martyn Jupp and Nigel Bosworth, who has led 2 Supercup outings, only to fall within sight of the checkered flag at the last turn while leading. So can he improve on that today and stay in front? 28 years of age, Kevin Mitchell has been campaigning the Med Yamaha, the Chas Mortimer team Yamaha, very well on the Grand Prix scene. Been getting faster and faster since putting some very special bits in it. And he has the potential. The fact that he's round here in a fraction outside the lap record endorses just how quickly Kevin Mitchell is going. Ian McConaughey on the Claycross Kawasaki sponsored machine. Ian McConaughey also a good 125, good 250 runner, and he's in there as well. So McConaughey's second fastest. Alan Carter, last week in Southern Ireland, 4 wins from 4 starts. Alan Carter on the RS250 Honda Britain machine, 25 years of age, from Halifax. Alan Carter needs a win today because he is in 2nd place in the championship, needs the 10 points. Then it's Martyn Jupp from Cannock in Staffordshire, who also was campaigning that machine in Ireland last week, had a fair amount of success as well. Martyn Jupp having a mixed season, not quite as fast as we've seen him go in 1989, but having said that, Jupp is in 4th place in the title standings on 23. 5th fastest, number 2, Nigel Bosworth. Bosworth on the Aprilia has been a little bit upset lately because the Aprilia has been a bit fragile and hasn't in fact been staying the pace. And when Nigel stays on it, it's very quick. And when it keeps going, it's very quick as well. Championship leader, however, Steve Hislop riding number 8, 10th fastest. His teammate Alan Carter ahead of him on the grid. The gap between them is 8 points, and earlier on we spoke to them. You've scored in every round, and you were really flying again today in practice.
Yeah, it's going well, so it's just a case of trying to stay consistent again and grab some more points, but hopefully I can be up in the top 3, maybe even win it, and try and stay on top of the championship. I'd love to win it.
Alan, 4 wins from 4 starts last weekend in Ireland. You need another win today, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I must win today, at least to try and win the British 250 Championship this year. Steve's leading by 8 points, and hopefully if I win today I can narrow the gap in a big finale at Donington.
One thing that intrigues me, you're both in the same team, you're so close. Are there any team orders?
Yeah, Steve's going to let me win.
We'll see about that.
Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
As they go off on their warm-up lap, we'll let you have a look at Mallory Park from the hot seat with Roger Burnett on the 750cc Suzuki.
Welcome to Mallory Park. I'm taking you for a lap on the Jury Suzuki over the start and finish. 4th, 5th and 6th gear. Down 1 gear to 5th into Gerrard's Bend. This corner's very fast, 120 miles an hour around here. Very important midway through the corner here to start to get the power on so the bike exits the corner very quickly onto this steady straight. From 5th into 6th gear, then quickly on the brakes down 2 gears into the S's. 80, 85, 90 miles an hour on the exit of here. start on the course this, right down into first gear, 30 miles an hour, keeping a tight line on the exit, and then through into the new bus stop chicane, designed to slow down this corner, the Devil's Elbow.
Those massive aluminium air scoops on Roger Burnett's Suzuki, pulling in the cold air into that big machine, which it loves so much. Riders completing now their warm-up lap. And we have a fantastic 250 battle ahead of us. This recently resurfaced Mallory Park circuit, 1.37 miles, consists basically of all right-handed bends, with the exception of the flick through the S's and the notorious Devil's Elbow, which saw Ray Stringer fall last year, saw Brian Morrison fall in 1988. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope everyone stays on two wheels today. The 250 is just a second outside the 750 time, so nothing in it really for speed round here. They're forming up at the back of the grid. Martyn Jupp, number 10. Alan Carter, watch him on the Honda Britain machine. Nigel Bosworth on the AF1 Aprilia. Bosworth from Stoke Golding, just down the road, this very much his local circuit. Pole position, I remind you, Kevin Mitchell from Burton-on-Trent, Ian McConachie from Chesterfield in Derbyshire, Alan Carter, Martyn Jupp and Nigel Bosworth. Hislop, number 8, has to fight his way through from the third row, so look out for Carter's teammate, Hislop, number 8. 250 is ready to go. All safely away, up through the gearbox into top gear, approaching Gerrard's. Gerrard's a very fast right-handed sweep, tightening up on the exit. Accelerating up now along the Stebbs Straight on the other side of the lake, sweeping through towards the S's. I have alongside me, as ever, Steve Parish, former British champion. Steve, Mallory Park, a circuit you know very well.
Yes, it's a great little circuit, and especially for these 250 machines. Alan Carter has made an absolute flyer of a start, albeit that Steve Hislop's right on his tail, but Alan will be keen to get away now, because if you get in a pack, it can slow you right down. You see him tipping into the slowest corner on the circuit, down into first gear, but a beautiful start from Alan Carter.
Through the chicane. Has been named recently the bus stop, actually, after the famous bus stop chicane, of course, at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. At the end of lap 1, Carter and Hislop, the two Honda teamsters, stretch away. Hislop knows what he has to do. He has to stay in there and score consistently. His track record to date, Steve Hislop, a win, a second, 2 thirds and a 5th. And consistency has been his secret to success. He has scored every round. Carter from Hislop. Then it's Kevin Mitchell, number 3, tucked in behind. So Mitchell very much in tow, and Martyn Jupp as well. Up towards Shaw's. The hairpin, Shaw's Bend, Hislop round the outside of Alan Carter, and Kevin Mitchell in there as well. The Yamaha, the Hondas, very similarly matched on power.
Yeah, there'll be very little in speed on this circuit. It's a relatively slow circuit, albeit they are reaching 140 miles an hour on some parts of the course, but Steve Hislop now, I think, will be very keen just to stick in the wheel tracks of Alan Carter. He doesn't need to do any more. In fact, he's dropped back into third place, and that's all he has to do to win the championship.
Second place now, Kevin Mitchell, number 3 on the Yamaha. So he is the Yamaha meat in the Honda sandwich, and right with them as well on another Yamaha, number 10, Martyn Jupp. So the TZ250 Yamahas and the RS250 Hondas locked in a duel now, up towards the hairpin again. Carter on the inside, number 12. Then it's Kevin Mitchell. Then Martyn Jupp also has prized Steve Hislop out of a place. Martyn Jupp has moved up 1, so he's up into 3rd. Then it's number 6, Rob Orme. Also in there as well, we saw number 5, Ian Newton. At the end of 3 laps, Alan Carter leads. Well, Martyn Jupp turning something up.
Yeah, Martyn's going really well. We looked at the speed along the straight. It's all about getting out of this corner they're on now, Gerrard's corner, taking 120 miles an hour in 5th gear. Now, who can get the power on earliest here? We'll be looking at Alan Carter. He's just turning the power on now, and if he can get a run out of that corner, it makes up to 5 or 10 miles an hour difference at the end of the straight.
The magic time barrier, which they're aiming for, is the 50-second barrier, because the lap record coming into the race stood at 51.28. Martyn Jupp is the joint record holder coming into this meeting at 51.28 seconds, 96.32 miles an hour. And Jupp is really fast round Mallory Park and really delivering the goods now. He's in pursuit of Mitchell, who is in pursuit of Alan Carter, number 12. Round Gerrards, the knee on the tarmac. Kevin Mitchell using his Grand Prix experience. In fact, he's out on the long side, so Kevin Mitchell on the Yamaha's just wound in 51.23. It's a good way outside their practice qualifying times. They went round at 50.74. So they're not on their practice pace. Steve, is that deliberate?
Well, it's a 20-lap race. It's a long race, and everyone's trying to get the tyres settled in, trying to adapt themselves to this relatively short circuit with very, very tight corners. But Mitchell really is a fly in the ointment. He's the man that isn't in the running for the championship. He can afford to stick his neck out a little bit, and I think, as we saw earlier, he nipped past Alan Carter, and he's going to be the man to watch.
Very much the man to watch. Mitchell and Alan Carter. On the inside, Kevin Mitchell at Gerrards, cranking it over on the lovely racing line, and he's away now. Can Carter's Honda get past the Yamaha up step straight? But no, the Yamaha just stretching away a little bit. On lap 6, up towards the S's. Rob Orme now, number 6, is having a go at Martyn Jupp for 3rd. So, as close as ever, as close as always, the 250s giving the crowd thrilling action as Alan Carter goes for the outside line. He needs the win, he needs 10 points. Where he's sitting now will earn him 9. Not good enough, Alan. A little twitch from the Honda as he put the power on. So great stuff. Number 15 also in the action, Steve Sawford, the 6th place man in the title. Steve Sawford well up. So a rundown. Kevin Mitchell leads. Alan Carter, number 12, is in 2nd place. In 3rd place, it's number 6, Rob Orme. In 4th place, it's number 10, Martyn Jupp. In 5th place, it's Steve Hislop. Wolsey Coulter is there in 6th, and there's nothing between them. Frankly, 0.3 of a second separates the top 6.
Steve Hislop would be very keen to improve his position, albeit that there is another round at Donington Park in 3 weeks' time. And Alan Carter has a bit of a twitch as he feeds the clutch in on that Honda. Number 12, Alan Carter, was a little bit eager coming out the hairpin and he saw the machine twitch. But as I was saying, Steve Hislop would be very keen to wrap this championship up here today. A top 3 position would do that, but he's struggling to keep with the leaders because Mitchell is really piling on the pressure here. Gerrard's corner, very, very fast. Alan Carter tries the outside, but it's not the right line. You need to be tight on the inside, and you'll see the machines, as they come onto the straight, it's a little bumpy and they twitch and weave around. It's down to setting that machine up. Carter gets a run out and he's passed.
Carter again hits the front. Martyn Jupp is hanging on there in 3rd, just sitting back, waiting for something to happen to these two, because they're at it now, tooth and nail. Steve, the talent we have in this country in 250 racing, well, it's fair to say, right across the capacity range. It really is a great pity that these men can't get the right Grand Prix machinery underneath them. And I'm talking now about the true factory machines. I'm quite sure that the likes of Alan Carter, Kevin Mitchell, Rob Orme could be in there with the best in the world if they were given the right bikes.
Yeah, we have a number of great 250 riders. Alan Carter, who raced in America for a couple of seasons, he was the youngest 250 Grand Prix winner back in '84, so he's got a lot of talent, but getting that machinery is all important, as very much like the 500s. Unless you are on a factory machine, you're wasting your time, and it seems such a shame.
10 major wins already this season for Alan Carter. He's trying hard to make this 11 here at Mallory Park. Great ride. In fact, 1990 has been one of his better seasons, if not his best season. He had some brilliant years in his very early days. He then, as you say, went to America. We lost sight of him. But certainly 1990, he's burst onto the scene in the UK from both the live point of view and the television point of view. A great ride by Alan Carter. But look at Mitchell again. Mitchell on the Yamaha on the inside. That's where he did it last time. Goes in on the brakes on the Yamaha. Kevin Mitchell, number 3, through on the inside again, knee on the tarmac. Martyn Jupp has by no means given up in 3rd. Jupp from Cannock is right there in touch. Steve, one of the best 250 races for a long time. Look at it go.
Yeah, well, Mallory Park always gives us a great race, and he's now on the inside. Mitchell's on the inside. I think it's his line, yeah. He dives underneath Alan Carter, and once a rider has got his front wheel in position, there's nothing you can do about it. He's got the shortest route. He'll be keen to stay on the inside as they break into the hairpin. The back wheel bouncing off the ground as all the weight's transferred to the front. Holds a tight line. Alan Carter again tries to sneak up the inside, but the bus stop, there's only room for one bike.
Ian McConaughey in fourth, riding number 4 on the clay cross Aprilia. So Ian McConaughey, 25 years of age, is now in fourth. Right with him is 29-year-old Rob Orme on the Derek Clark machine. So Rob Orme is in there too. They're in there, 5th, 4th, 3rd, but the battle for 1-2 at the front is a raging battle between Kevin Mitchell, number 3, and Alan Carter, number 12, and they're at it. Hammer and tongs again, up towards the Lake Esses. It's Carter on the inside still, but no way through. Kevin Mitchell disappointed with his Thruxton outing because he fitted a wet tyre to go out in those dreadful conditions, and the tyre went off after 3 laps and he was unable to continue. So all the way to Thruxton for no points at all. He's only got 1 point in the championship, and he's on target now for 9 and would like to make it 10.
Mitchell actually ran wide at the hairpin. We missed that, and Carter's nipped through. He went in there a bit fast and went out wide. Carter's extended his lead a fraction there, and it is only a fraction. Mitchell's coming back on the inside. But as we see at the hairpin, the machines are braking from well over 100 miles an hour down to around about 10 miles an hour. And the machines are snaking and weaving as they go in there. They try to revolve themselves round the front wheel as they brake very heavily.
Well over half distance now, and Ian McConaughey has closed up on the leading pair. So the danger now in this race is very much taking the form of Ian McConaughey riding number 4 on the clay cross Aprilia. He's right in there now with them. The Aprilia's phenomenally fast, if a little bit delicate in terms of the machinery aspect, but the Rotax power of the Aprilia certainly hurling Ian McConaughey down the straight. In fact, McConaughey has just underlined what I've said, 50.64, so 0.6 of a second, just half a second faster, and McConaughey will be inside that magic 50-second barrier. And look at Carter again now, so it's Carter, Mitchell, McConaughey and Mitchell. Poor Kevin Mitchell right in the middle there, Martyn Jupp still, and Rob Orme still in touch in 5th.
That was a very brave move by Alan Carter. He went underneath Mitchell in the middle of Gerard's corner, and I think it caught Mitchell by surprise a little bit. But oh, and we haven't passed again. Round the outside, he's tried, yes, the Claycross Kawasaki's nipped round the outside, so that's a very brave move also. So it's a real hammer and tong battle here this afternoon.
McConaughey leads then, over the line again they go. 25 years of age, Ian McConaughey from Chesterfield in Derbyshire leads. Round 6 of the Super Cup here at Mallory Park, but Alan Carter, second place is no good to him. If he's going to do anything about lifting the title, he has to win, and he has to hope that Steve Hislop drops further down the order, and Hislop is currently nicely placed in 6th place. Hislop, the man from Bill McLaren country, Hoyk is his hometown. Hislop is in 6th, nicely sitting there. Ian McConaughey round the hairpin again, Shaw's corner, down, flicking it through, left and right, through the chicane. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6th place man Steve Hislop, and the gap between 6th and the rest of the field, well, frankly, no one else is in sight. Just 2 and a bit seconds cover the leading 6, so it's still anybody's race. Steve Hislop, however, won't be making any mistakes. He needs the points. If he can finish this one well up in the points, Donington, I think, Steve, will be pretty academic then.
Yes, all he needs to do at Donington is, he needs to get some points here and a few at Donington Park, so it's very, very important he does finish the race. But McConaughey has certainly caught Alan Carter and Kevin Mitchell by surprise, because he's just come storming through. Alan Carter's having to go back at the hairpin here. He's on the outside, which is the wrong line. You saw the rear wheel come right up in the air as heavy braking was done there by McConaughey. Carter's got the inside line, he's got on the power, beautiful move. Lovely move, and he's into the bus stop first. So Carter, I think, now will be trying to make a break. He's really keen to get away.
Carter then has stretched that out now to something like 4 or 5 machine lengths, but Graham Mitchell, very experienced from Berthelon-Trent on the Yamaha, still there in third. Ian McConaughey, the Aprilia, tucked in between them. And there's nothing at all between the power and the performance of these bikes, very evenly matched. You can see how the riders sweep out, use all the track, take the wide racing line. I'm very impressed with the consistent ride delivered by number 10, Martyn Jupp from Cannock. He's been there or thereabouts, third or fourth, all the way through the race. Alan Carter's rear wheel locked up under braking at Shaw's, the hairpin. The bus stop is next. Flicks it right, exits, and then the adverse camber, Devil's Elbow, down towards the start-finish again. Towards Gerrard's. Kevin Mitchell again, 50.62, so a fraction under again, but still that very elusive 50-second barrier is not going to fall to the 250s. I would have thought, Steve, if the lap record was going to go, it would go in this race.
Well, yes, I mean, they are under the times they were doing in practice now, but they are now down to the lap times that were produced in the 750 qualifying this morning. So the 250s are now actually lapping as quick as any of the 750s did in the previous practice session. So that really says something. So I think if we see an under 50-second time, it will be in the 750 race.
6 riders again, led now by Alan Carter. Still, it's McConaughey tucked in there, riding number 4, Ian McConaughey. Then it's Kevin Mitchell, then Martyn Jupp, then Rob Orme and Steve Hislop as well. So Rob Orme on the Spondon the Derek Clark Yamaha from Derby. Rob Orme in a wonderful 5th place, very consistent, but it looks as though he's having his work cut out to catch the flying quartet ahead of him. Martyn Jupp from Cannock really impressing, but again, the Aprilia of McConaughey's does seem, Steve, just to have a little bit more power when it's flat out. Let's watch it again as they exit the chicane down the straight. It
does seem to have a bit of power, but Carter had a lovely manoeuvre again. McConaughey looked over his shoulder to see where he was. Carter went the other side of him, so he's back in front, Alan Carter. With 2 laps to go, he needs to make himself as wide as possible and keep McConaughey out of his slipstream. But yes, it does seem that the Aprilia of McConaughey is fractionally quicker down the straight.
Kevin Mitchell on the inside at Gerrard's and through. Oh, and McConaughey sat up there. That was a bit close, almost touched him. Kevin Mitchell went through on the inside. Ian McConaughey sat up and let him through. So now that gave Alan Carter just the very, very slightest of advantages, and he capitalized on that. Martyn Jupp now and Steve Hislop. So Hislop is up to 5th. Never mind the consistency, said Steve Hislop. I need a few more points. I'm not so sure about this, the way Carter's going. So Hislop is now past Rob Orme. Kevin Mitchell is going the long way around and giving it all away. Quite what happened there, Steve, I don't know.
Well, Mitchell just went in there too fast. He just thought he was going to do a do-or-die effort, and it didn't work for him. He went too wide and let everyone through underneath. And the most important thing about the Mallory Park hairpin, as they start their last lap, is to stay on the inside line and let anyone from the car go the long way around.
Well, we've got about 38 seconds left of this race, and it's been a cracker from the time the lights went to green. The race leader, number 12, Alan Carter, he can do no more but win this one. And look at the gap now between Carter and second place man Ian McConaughey. Then it's Kevin Mitchell, and right with them Martyn Jupp and Steve Hislop. It's going to be very frantic, and there's a tail ender ahead of Alan Carter. They're coming up to lap a tail ender. Will they catch him? And McConaughey goes round and goes wide. Still in second, Ian McConaughey still in second. The tail ender's there as they exit the chicane. Alan Carter knows full well he mustn't let the tail ender get in the way. The checkered flag is ready. Carter gets it from McConaughey, from Mitchell, Jupp, Hislop and Rob Orme. A blinding 250 race. Alan Carter, a deserved winner. What a tremendous result. He now goes to Donington and he has to do it again. Everyone congratulating everyone else, but Alan Carter, a brilliant win, but he had to work very hard, all 20 laps around the Mallory circuit, to get that 10 points. And Steve Hislop, a calculated 5th place. Carter, the win. McConaughey, Mitchell, Jupp, Steve Hislop, in fact, I'm sure it was, came home in 5th, and Wolsey Coulter showing there, but Rob Orme in 6th.